Dame Dash shares a wild story about his experiences with Diddy and Jay-Z.
Because what's crazy to me is if his hustle is putting stuff in people's drink, he made a liquor. I mean, that's the illest shit in the world, that everybody was partying and you don't know what was in that drink. And if he was, pause, undercover gay, because I didn't know it, and obviously if he was knocking men out and they were waking up violated, he's making somebody gay that doesn't want to be gay. So I'm like, what was in them drinks? And then I'm starting to think like, damn, when did hip hop start to lose its masculinity? When did dudes, and again, no disrespect to nobody, but like tough niggas started wearing dresses and pocketbooks, like maybe that could be the reason. And I'm just thinking it through. Like maybe that could be the reason why hip hop took a turn for the feminine, because that shit, if homie was really putting shit in people's drinks and he's making the liquor, and again, I don't know, and I'm not even saying it to be funny, but they saying, homie was putting shit in his baby oil. So how could you trust that person to serve you drinks at such a big scale? So I'm remembering Nori so adamant about me taking a shot of Ciroc, and I'm like, nah. And I brought my own. And now y'all can understand why I always want to make my own. So I brought my own liquor. You know what I'm saying? I was taking shots of my own. And then what happened, I made him take shots of Ciroc, and then he ended up getting too drunk, talking about take your shirt off and all this type shit. It's on tape. So it ain't like you just naturally start to think of things. And then I was thinking, there was this one time that when my daughter was 16, Jay had a show, and my daughter wanted to go. So I'm like, yo, I'm not going to deprive my daughter. So I hollered at Jay, sent the kite, and told him I wanted to go to a show with my daughter, and they accommodated me to the fullest. People were really surprised to see me there, took pictures with everybody. And again, Emery's my brother, so I would hate to think that he was like that, pause. But he kept asking me something. That was the first time I had tasted that Douce, and I got ridiculously drunk to the extent, and my daughter and I were talking about this the other day, that I was like, yo, I don't get this drunk. Why am I so drunk? And I ended up, pause, wrestling with Kevin Hart. Poor nigga got me in a chicken wing. And I remember Vaughn taping that shit. And I'm like, yo, why you taping, Vaughn? So I'm thinking, I'm like, damn, because homie makes drinks too. And again, just if this is true, these are the things that I'm like just reflecting on. And if I wouldn't have played everything completely by the book, complete honor, then I could have been compromised. And what would have happened if I ever woke up feeling some kind of way?
Discusses the serious allegations against Diddy regarding drugging minors, calling it pure evil and likening it to devil worship.
When I heard that, pause, my mind was like blown. So, again, you think of things on different levels. So one level is, that shit can't be true. He couldn't be that dark. That's bananas, pause. Like, it's just too dark. And you think, well, damn, 120 people is a lot of people. But even if 1% of that is right, it's crazy, unforgivable. And then I'm thinking, well, shit, that lawyer, he has a pretty solid history. And it would be pretty embarrassing for them to expose themselves in that way and be wrong. And then I'm looking at, they got the number while they were doing the press conference, and I'm like, yo, this is crazy. So to me, I'm like, if it's not true, then they just put a hit on him, because there's nowhere that he can be where messing with little children is tolerated on any level. It's just an unforgivable thing where we're from, regardless of what you've experienced. And then I'm thinking, okay, if he did do that, well, number one, I'm thinking what they said, from what I understood, is we had 120 separate lawsuits. So that means there's gonna, like every single day, for at least 120 different days, there's gonna be a different lawsuit with different people. And I'm gonna be like, yo, this shit is gonna blow my mind. And they're gonna drag this shit out. And then they're saying they're going to release names, and now I need to really know these names. But then I'm thinking, all right, let's say this shit is true. Number one, it's beyond pause. It's like demon pause, which is when you see demon pause, you don't even play with that person no more. It's like, what do you do? And I'm like, if that is the case, that's pure evil. That's like devil worship. And people have been putting him on a platform for 30 years straight. And some people knew, but I guess the general public did not. So does that mean that everybody that went to his party and that celebrated him, if that's true, does that mean they were celebrating evil? Is that a form of, like, you know, unconscious devil worship? And what was really disturbing to me about that was that they said that the pattern was they put stuff in people's drinks, and then they would pass out and wake up sore. And number one, I'm like, wow, how many times have I been in an environment where someone tried to pass me a drink and I didn't take it? And now I'm like, who was trying to line me up? And I think, pause, that it's justified and warranted to reflect, because I was around these people and I didn't know they played those games. And it's another level of gangster. So again, I ain't got no problem with people being gay, but if you're pretending you're gay and you're a gangster, that's gay gangster. And you could get robbed of your money, but you also could get robbed of your manhood.
Dame Dash shares his thoughts on Jay-Z working with R. Kelly, especially knowing the serious issues surrounding him.
I don't want to be a part of that, so I'm not working with you. But, so I walked away from Weinstein, and then homie did do business with him. When it came down to R. Kelly, there was a conversation had about the moralness, like it's morally wrong to do a project with someone that we know, my girl, or anybody for that matter. So I do know that that conversation was had, and I was really surprised that he moved forward with that relationship. I don't know Epstein, so I never had the chance to walk away from him. But I do know that when that project did come out, I didn't want any part of that project. I didn't want any of the money to go to Rockefeller or me when it came to Rockefeller. It was around the time that Jay was trying to kind of separate himself from us. And he was saying that he didn't want to be a part anymore. And we resolved that issue with, look, if you want, because he wanted me to dilute and he wanted Biggs to dilute. And I wasn't diluting because I know what I mean and what I do for business. And Biggs was ready to dilute. But our OG, Deuce from St. Croix, kind of stepped in and was like, that's not right. And that's how we resolved it. The way we resolved it was, yo, you keep all the money from that project. I don't want no parts of it, the best of both worlds. So again, I mean, that is true. But, you know, I just think that, I think homie has to answer some questions right now. If he doesn't, it just, you know, again, it's going to make people ask more questions. And me, as a person that knew him, you know, I'm very curious to know the stuff that they say about Aaliyah. I mean, I'm human. And when I look at things, like, again, a lot of things are weird right now. So I'm reflecting a lot. So I'm thinking, I'm like, well, homie might, you know, he was salty a little bit because he was trying to get at Aaliyah and I was trying to get at her. But, and I know that there are people that benefited from her death. But for me, when I hear these conspiracies, I'm like, how could they be that powerful that they could get a plane or someone to crash a plane? Like, then they just be, I don't want to say I'm underestimating people, but I don't give people, like, that's like, yo, that's the most illest gangster shit, some Pablo Escobar, you could actually get a plane to crash. And then, you know, I hear a lot of rumors about me, like I sacrificed her and some dumb shit like that. You know, all those things. It's hard to, like, I don't want to believe that, but it does make me think it through, you know? So again, in this moment, just because there's so much gray area on a legal level, not what I'm suspecting, but like, you know, this shit is now real. Or if it isn't real, people are gonna have to prove that it's not real. And it's a moment where I'm curious, but if any of that is true, like I have to talk to a therapist because I don't know what I don't even know. I can't even like, I don't even want to go down that kind of a rabbit hole. It's just too crazy to think that me as a regular dude was in something that was just, you know, so dark, evil, and so strong, and Paul is powerful, that shit like this could even be almost a reality. Like I'm here, like why am, so yeah, it's kind of ill, you know, to see the things that affected your life in such a big way, for people to have different variations of what may have happened for someone that I love so much.
Thanks for tuning in. We hope you enjoyed hearing about Dame Dash's stories and insights into the world of hip-hop. Whether it's the drama between legends or the lessons learned, there's always more to uncover. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more updates.